Nestled on a hill by the roadside, the blacksmith's home offered a clear view of the river winding through the valley below. The ground floor housed the forge, its chimney steadily venting smoke into the afternoon sky. Black Falcons soldiers stood outside, their boots coated in the dust of the northern road. The journey from Underhill Garrison had been long but purposeful. The forge belonged to a master smith who recently settled here after decades in the blacksmith guild within Falcon's Watch, capital of the Falcon Kingdom. The soldiers had come seeking blades and armor, forged by a true artisan. Across the river from the blacksmith's hill, a modest farmhouse sat facing the gentle current. Inside, the mother laid down the last bowl of chicken stew, completing the table she had carefully set for supper. The scent drifted through the open door, where her eldest son stepped out into the fading light. He called out across the yard where his father and younger brothers were working. Their laughter echoed faintly over the sound of the river, blending with the steady rhythm of the forge on the opposite hill. Just as the family of farmers gathered around the table for supper, a sudden chorus of panicked squeals erupted from the pig pen. They rushed outside to find two hooded figures fleeing the pen, a struggling pig clutched in the green, gnarled arms. The boys froze in horror. These weren't ordinary thieves, they were orcs. Luck, however, was on their side. A patrol of soldiers happened to be passing along the nearby road. The father wasted no time. He shouted for help, and the soldiers sprang into action. The hunt had begun. cries from the pigpen pierced the air, drawing the gaze of the soldiers in the midst of their dealings at the blacksmith. While the spotters remained on the hill, their captain rallied with a unit patrolling the road below. Bolstered by reinforcements, the soldiers felt certain the orcs couldn't escape. But not all eyes were on the chase. Hidden among the trees, a band of forestmen had been watching and waiting. Their opportunity had come. With the soldiers fully distracted, the forestmen crept from the shadows and slipped towards the blacksmith. There, hitched near the forge, stood a carriage, its sacks heavy with coins. They had known it would be here. A spy inside Underhill Garrison had tipped them off days ago. As the chase pressed on, the soldiers were hot on the heels of the orcish thieves. Turning the corner of the farmhouse, another sight met their eyes. More orcs now ransacking the coop, stealing eggs and chickens from behind the house. The sergeant, quick on his feet, signaled for a flanking maneuver, darting around the opposite side of the house, his flails swinging in time with his stride. But the captain, eyes narrowing as he scanned the scene, halted his advance. He raised his sword, signaling for the men behind him to hold their ground. His gut told him this went beyond simple robbery. The orcs were too organized, their actions too deliberate. Beyond the fields, in the forest behind the farmstead, shadows shifted. A warband of orcs lay hidden among the trees, and at their center, a towering troll loomed, silent and still. The chase had been a ploy. The soldiers were being led straight into the jaws of an ambush. Once the trap was sprung, the plan would unfold in full. Destroy the patrol, then descend upon the village and leave nothing standing. The ambush was unleashed, swift and merciless. The sergeant and his men clashed with the oncoming horde, blades ringing and boots thundering against the dirt. But it was hopeless. Orcs poured through the tree line like a black tide, overwhelming them with sheer numbers. Seeing the odds, the captain acted fast, ordering one of his men to break off and head north to Underhill Garrison, a day's ride away. The orcish chieftain caught sight of the rider, letting out a thunderous roar as he charged. The captain and a handful of his soldiers stood their ground, throwing themselves between the beast and the messenger. Steel clashed and blood spilled. Their sacrifice brought just enough time as the rider vanished into the distance. Underhill was far. Help was uncertain, and the dead already outnumbered the living. Hope, like the last light in the sky, was fading. I'd like to give a big shout out to our channel members supporting the creation of Scarrillis, with a special thank you to Fennec and Brendan Bundyboy Davies, our two captains of the guards. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.